How did you lose your best friend? My best friend from childhood, a guy I had known since 6th grade. We met in 6th grade when he was getting picked on and I stood up for him. Over the years we became best friends and he was my only remaining childhood friend due to my parents moving around so much. He was a really smart guy academically, got like a 1400 to 1500 on his SATs. He helped me out tremendously in life, helped me get my first real IT job, started my career, and talked me through an abusive marriage that ended in divorce. We were roommates in our early 20s, and we did everything together. He was an amazing guy, the kind of guy that would go out of his way to help out people he knew no matter the inconvenience. He grew up in a strict household, with rich parents that had no idea how to be real parents, one in which eventually his parents sent him to Valley Forge Military Academy. As he got older he started suffering from depression, anxiety, and just plain unhappiness. I watched him deteriorate badly from his late 20s to his early 30s. Even though we lived half the US away from each other, we talked and played online games together weekly. I honestly didn't know how badly he was doing, until one day when he called me like any other day. He stated that he didn't want to ever talk to me again. He said he was severing ties with all people that didn't fit into his new life he was starting. I really at first thought he was joking. I asked what he was talking about. He said I wouldn't understand. Then he just hung up on me. I didn't hear from him for days. I was freaked out, didn't know what was up. Finally he called me back in tears and said he would give me a chance to understand. Then he went on to explain how he realized he could read people's minds and solve their problems for them. He decided that he was going to start a group/organization with himself as the leader where his role would be to direct people's lives for them. He explained to me he knew it sounded crazy and reiterated that he knew I wouldn't understand. Indeed it sounded like straight up Manson kinds of stuff, like he had a complete break from reality. Living half the US made it hard to help him. My brother lived not too far from him and was a mutual friend to him, so I finally had my brother call him to see if he could help. That was when it really blew up. Apparently I wasn't supposed to tell anyone. My best friend since 6th grade, a guy who I have never seen violent in his life, called me and told me I shouldn't have told my brother and that if I ever called him or messaged him again he would drive cross country to where my children and I live to unalive us in our sleep, then hung up again. After that I reached out to his parents whom I hadn't spoken to in like 10 years to see if they could help. Turns out they had found out about his state on a recent visit a few weeks ago. They said he physically attacked his elderly father and had beaten up his girlfriend on another occasion. They didn't want to get authorities involved and wanted to handle it. I was like screw that. He threatened to unalive my kids. I called the local police near him, explained the situation, and said he is a danger to himself and to others. They told me there was nothing they could do until someone local filed a police report who had witnessed his behavior, which his girlfriend and dad of course did not do. I emailed his mom like 6 to 8 months after everything happened. Supposedly they got him some help and convinced him to move home for a bit, but she said he wasn't ready to talk to former friends yet. That was 7 to 8 years ago. Haven't heard from them or him. I think about it regularly still, pretty sure I will never make a friend like that again.